This might be the most clickbaity video I've done in a while, if ever, so forgive me for that if you can, but I just have to get a little something off my chest here, and that is that some of you clearly just want to subvert the time to kill. For the purposes of commentary, yes, when I say some of you, I mean random people that exist that I talk to give me this impression. And when I say the time to kill, I mean just generally in Call of Duty and sometimes in other shooters as well, but for the most part in Call of Duty. And this is really apparent when you talk to snipers, but we're going to get to that in a second. What we're really going to be talking about in the beginning of this video is shotguns. Now, the shotguns in Black Ops Cold War are devastating. They're very, very good and very scary to go against. If you go against somebody who has a max level Hauer and they have kitted it for range and tight pellet spread, you are going to get one-shotted inside of almost any room you enter. Even if you're out of range, somebody with a Hauer and a piece of cover can fire, duck behind the cover, pump the shotgun, come back out, and fire again. In certain choke points, it's absolutely devastating, and a lot of people don't seem to understand that. Why do I say that people don't understand it? Because I see people asking for the shotguns to get a buff. Or, when people say the shotguns should be primary so you can't have them for free, people say they're not strong enough to be primaries. This is absolutely fundamentally incorrect. I could see that maybe they need a little bit more pellet consistency if they're going to be primaries, and we could talk about that, but honestly, these things are devastating. And over the years, I have heard and read many different defenses of using shotguns, and I've come to the conclusion, I should say, that people really want to subvert the time to kill, and that's what they're trying to justify. They don't want the shotguns buffed because they really think they need a buff. I mean, maybe they do, but that would mean they're entirely ignorant, and I like to assume people are not entirely ignorant and that they have some sort of subconscious or subtle motive behind what they're asking for. I mean, just the fact that some people would want shotguns to be stronger tells me that these are bad players that really just don't want to have to try too hard. Shotguns are pretty much the most skillless weapons in all of anything. You know, positioning is important, yeah, you have to be close, but accuracy requirements, damage in close range, the ability to completely subvert a gunfight with a single or two shots is kind of bonkers. It's crazy to me that people want these things buffed in any shooter. You would think if they are somebody that respects good gunplay, they'd want the shotguns to be as niche as possible. I mean, my ideal shotgun is a power weapon or a really, really slow cannon. The idea of speedy, quick sprint to fire shotguns and it just ruins shooters, especially if you can put them on your loadout before you spawn into the game. It might work in some milsim style games where you're gonna die in 1 to 2 shots by an AR anyways, but in a game where I have to land 5 shots on you with an AR, I really don't want you to kill me with a single spread of buckshot. Even 2 is a little too fast. Simply because it subverts the gunfight with very little accuracy required from the player. So, the people that want the shotguns buffed, you will get no sympathy from me. I understand that consistency is important, but a lot of times consistency just means, God, I wish these things one-shotted or at least two-shotted every time I fired at somebody. The fact is, if you're using a shotgun and you're fighting somebody within your effective range and they have an assault rifle or an SMG, even a pistol, they require so much more skill than you. There's a complete imbalance there. Shotguns, in my opinion, are impossible to perfectly balance unless you just make them a power weapon that people have to fight over. Or in Battlefield's case, just make the map so big that nobody wants to take that as their primary weapon. That also works for me. Now when it comes to snipers, especially here in Cold War, I hear a lot of people saying that the snipers of course need a buff, right? Of course they do. I even hear people saying that they should have flinch because the lack of flinch makes them kind of broken, but that they still need to have their speeds increased. That way you can aim down sight faster and quickscope easier, and that quickscoping's been killed, and that's a core component of Call of Duty's DNA, and removing it's a bad idea. I fundamentally disagree with this. You see, the snipers in Cold War are really good at what they are, which is long-range people deleters. They're good snipers, they're just not good gunfight subverters, and that's the real point of quickscoping, and I won't hear any other counter-arguments about this. I'm sorry, when you work really hard to get good at quickscoping, what you're doing is learning how to confront somebody within their effective range, an SMG, an AR user, maybe even a shotgun user. Confront them in their effective range and end the gunfight before they can start it. That's what a good quickscoper does. Catches somebody off guard with a single bullet to the upper chest, deleting them immediately. Now, I could talk about the fact that Call of Duty already has the easiest snipers out of like any other FPS game that I play. I could make fun of the fact that snipers freak out anytime a sniper is nerfed or quickscoping isn't viable, or incredibly viable, because even when it's still viable, it's not viable enough. And by the way, even if it took you 12 years to become a good quickscoper, that has no bearing on game balance. You want to subvert a gunfight, and I'm supposed to be okay with that because you've practiced? If I practice getting into a glitch spot, and it's really hard to get into a certain glitch spot, is that a good thing? I mean, yeah, maybe there's a wall you can glitch into in Black Ops Cold War. It's really hard. It requires, millisecond perfect precision to edge yourself into the wall. If I practice that and get really good at doing it, should I be able to do it? No. And you might think, well, that's not the same thing, and I'm gonna say, it's the same argument. Just because it takes a long time to learn a glitch doesn't mean I should be able to do it. Just because it takes a long time to learn how to subvert gunfights and fight outside of your effective range, inside of other people's effective range, completely subverting their gunfight, I'm sorry. When an SMG user rushes into a building and sees a sniper, their first thought should be, good thing I packed my SMG, not that, oh, quickscoping's really good in this game, so I have like a very low chance of survival unless he misses his shot. Like, I've seen people justifying the lack of flinch on snipers in Cold War as if firing a LW3 round into somebody's tummy is so skillful that it should not be interrupted by being shot 3 times prior. I am not a good sniper in Call of Duty. I'm just not. I don't really work on that skill set, but I'm competent at it. And I went from being terrible with the Pellington to pretty darn okay. And I'm sorry. When a sniper is a good sniper, my first thought isn't to make it a better close range, rapid, quickscoping weapon. I know it looks cute in montages, but it ruins gunfights on a moment-to-moment basis. And again, it could take all of the skill in the world. That doesn't mean it has a place in the game. You can learn to do a broken thing, and it might take a while to learn that broken thing. It's still a broken thing. I mean, think about it. Almost every Call of Duty game has a tomahawk or throwing knife, something that immediately kills anybody it touches, even in their foot. But there's travel time, there's arcing, there's timing, and you have to give up your actual practical lethals and tacticals to have it. Or if you're in a pick-10 system, you have to give up a whole point to have it. But yes, it completely subverts a gunfight if you're able to lead that target and land that hit. Snipers don't require you in Call of Duty to lead your target, and especially not if the sniper's really good at quickscoping. When your time to kill is the same amount of time it takes for you to aim down sight, that's bad. So the fact that people want snipers to be faster, shotguns to be stronger, it's disturbing to me. When I saw people complaining about the Renetti nerf in Modern Warfare, when people were dual wielding Renettis, saying that it ruins the gun. No, the gun is still very, very good. It just doesn't completely delete people in close range, removing their ability to fight back. I never consider myself to be a good sniper until I do it for a minute in Call of Duty and realize I could get really good at this in a month. In a month, I would be proficient if I sniped every day, because it's not really that hard. Honestly, go play games like Battlefield or Halo that require you to get headshots or actually go and find the sniper rifle itself. You can load into Call of Duty with a high zoom optic bolt action rifle that allows you to hold your breath, completely steadying your scope and one-shotting somebody in the chest, and you're gonna go on Twitter and tell me that that needs to be faster so that you can do it in close range. No. This is why I was saying that high damage weapons, LMGs, tactical rifles, shotguns, snipers, they need to have flinch. But you know what? ARs and SMGs, that's where gunfights live. That's landing consistent shots, that's controlling recoil, that's persisting against your opponent, that's aiming for the head in the middle of your volley of shots. If you use the M13 in Modern Warfare, you can get really, really, really fast kills, but you have to land 3 headshots. That's all shots landing on the head. Not impossible, but far from easy. That's how you delete people with assault rifles. You land shots on their head, you track them, and you keep landing your shots consistently. A sniper, a good quickscoper, in a game with good quickscoping, thinking along the lines of Modern Warfare 2 and 3, Black Ops 2, those types of sniper situations are lining somebody up in the middle of your screen and ADSing and snapping them before they can react. And if you're using aim assist, snipers benefit from that pretty greatly when it comes to quickscoping. In fact, Infinity Ward back during Modern Warfare 3 referred to the quickscoping problem with the MSR as being a glitch, as being an abuse of the aim assist. So if you use aim assist and you want quickscoping to be more powerful, I'm going to laugh at you. If you want to prevail in close range engagements, at least have the courtesy to use a shotgun, because that means you can't one-shot me across the map and then one-shot me across the room with the same weapon. And that's the one plus I'm gonna give to shotguns. They have to be in your face. If you get caught out in the open in a long-range engagement and all you have is a Hauer or a Gallo, you're screwed. And that's fair. With a sniper, with overpowered quickscoping, with really powerful quickscoping, really competent quickscoping even, catching somebody out in the middle of a field or something as you're trying to land shots on them, if they don't have a lot of flinch and they can get down sight quickly, you do not have that gunfight in the bag until they drop. Because at any minute during your volley of shots, they can land one right between your eyes. They don't want to fight flinch, they don't want to fight a slow ADS, they don't want to snipe with the sniper rifles. They want to rush you with the sniper rifle and delete you before you can react. And then when you spawn far away, delete you there too, because that's what the rifles are good at. It's a way to have a gun that subverts a close range and long range gunfight. The snipers in Cold War are really good at being snipers. They're not good at being rushing tools. Now, if you wanted to increase the bullet velocity to make that more consistent, if you wanted to maybe increase the rate of fire a little bit, we could talk about that. But that's not what I see people talking about. I'm okay with practical, nuanced discussions about weapon balance. That's fun. But when we're talking about make them better at quickscoping, bring back quickscoping, all I can think of is the Modern Warfare 3 Black Ops 2 days of rounding a corner, seeing a ballista, starting to land shots, even with dexterity, even with a laser sight, even getting my sights up before they shoot, and losing anyway. If that's what you want from Call of Duty, I genuinely think you hinder the experience for the average person who's playing their weapons to their strengths and doesn't want to learn how to abuse the easiest sniper rifles in FPS history. Thank you guys for watching my rant. See you when I see you. Goodbye.